With pros, I would say that there's a lot of backcountry roads that you can take in New Zealand to avoid a lot of major roads. Major roads here, they generally suck. There's hardly any shoulder. New Zealanders or Kiwis or locals, they all drive way too fast. I've hitchhiked with people. I have traveled with the people in the car. I've been on the roads by bike. They travel too fast, in my opinion. I haven't seen anyone who drives slightly below the speed limit just to be safe. That's very rare. Most people, generally the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour. People will go 120 to 110 kilometers an hour. And I think that's really dangerous personally. People think they know the roads really well until, you know, a camper van comes around the corner, a truck, a cyclist. You just got to be careful, you know. And I know that sounds really not very helpful advice, but the best thing you can do, which I talk about on my last thing, which is cycling safety, is to wear the most high visible colors that you can wear. You just want to be very visible. That helps a lot, I think. I think many people say it doesn't help. I disagree with them. I think it does help. And I'll get into that in a minute. But the advantage is on the North Island, you can avoid a lot of those major roads. Trust me, I've done it. You don't have to ride on major roads all the time. The downside is you will be doing a lot of detours. I'll leave a link in the description of my ride with GPS. It's a file, it's a GPS file or GPX file that you can download and put onto your Garmin, or you can put it onto your custom navigation on your phone, which I'll talk about in another video maybe. Maybe I should just mention it now. I use OpenStreetMap, which is an application and also a map online that you can, it's just open source, and it's really good. I would recommend downloading that application from the Google Play Store or from Apple Store, and you can put that GPX file straight on there. So yeah, there's a lot of back roads, and you can find a lot of these roads. Downside with the back roads, they're all going to be gravel. A lot of them are metal roads. They are quite bumpy. They've got a lot of loose gravel, so they're not smooth at all. Very rarely are they smooth. You have graders, which are these, I'll try and leave a picture on the screen. A grader is basically, it grades the road, it makes it flat. And generally most roads in New Zealand aren't well graded. Even the sealed or paved roads are not well graded. And they're very cambered. Cambered, I think, is the right word. It's where instead of it being flat like this, it's quite to the side. So when you're going around a turn, it's really to the side, and it's tricky to keep upright on the bike, and you got to try and, you know, just go around the top part of that of the bend, basically. I'll try and show a few photos, but it's tricky to show you what I mean. It's a deep bend in the road when you're going around. Yeah, New Zealand roads are very cheaply made. There's a lot of shortcuts made. There's a lot of chip seal roads, which is basically where they pour a lot of shingle, basically, which is basically, you know, little tiny stones, and oil, and they just let cars drive on it, and it gets squished. And generally I didn't get punctures from that. Wider tires I find help in New Zealand. I definitely think you should buy a mountain bike in general. I probably forgot to mention that, but buying a mountain bike in New Zealand will be better, or a cyclocross bike. Don't buy a road bike, it's pointless. I mean, there's just so much traffic and it's dangerous. It's not worth it. The mountain bike will allow you to take those metal roads. Metal roads are what New Zealanders call, and what we call, dirt roads. Yeah, dirt roads, they're pretty good. They're just they're really hilly sometimes, and they're such a pain in the ass. You might see that on some of my stuff. Anyway, backcountry roads, gravel roads, metal roads, way to go. And if you follow the east part of the South Island, you can take those back roads. If you follow the west coast, there's basically one road, the Highway 6, and that's it, the West Coast Road, and you will be stuck on that road for a very long time. It's beautiful because you've got a rainforest which you can go and see, and then ride out through the mountain range, and then you're in a desert. It's incredible. It's really stunning, but there is a little bit of traffic. That's, you know, the downside. But if you have a mirror, anyway, I should get onto cycling safety. Last thing on my list is cycling safety. So what I would recommend is that you buy high-vis, which is like one of those high fluorescent, maybe I can show a picture, to make yourself visible, basically. Colors like light orange or orange in general, and also just high visible colors like bright pink and bright blue or whatever. something to make it very visible for the driver. They really appreciate it mentally. I think that they're just more happy when they see that, and they can't then complain that you're not visible. That helps. Cycling, wearing a helmet is not wearing a helmet, I mean, is legal. You need to wear a helmet here. Let me think. Cycling safety in general. Mirrors. I really recommend having a mirror. You can get one which sticks on your mirror. Sticks on your helmet. I'm talking way too fast. Sticks on your helmet, and you can get a mirror which attaches onto your handlebars. Those will allow you to see cars behind you, and I mean, at least you can pull over to the side of the road if you see something happening. Generally, if you look at what your route's going to be, try and find a flat road, because if it's flat, then there's always going to be kind of a gravel shoulder or a grassy kind of shoulder that you can pull over on. Generally, if it's going to be climb and it's twisty, there aren't a lot of places to pull over, and you just got to try and keep yourself away from the white line. Then when you see that someone's not passing you correctly, then you go over that white line and you get back off the road. Does that make sense? So like, make yourself visible and then kind of weave back over, because it's a bit of a psychologic thing. You just got to kind of make yourself more visible. And the cycle trails. There's a lot of cycle trails that I followed through New Zealand from north to south. I didn't even explain where I started, actually. I need to explain that. And the cycle trails are pretty good generally. There is one which I wouldn't recommend. That's the Waikato cycle trail. That goes from a town called Matamata over to the Timber Trail. I do not recommend that. Just take the road. The cycle trail is way too windy and twisty, and you're going to be walking a lot of it, and the traffic on the road is almost nothing. There's hardly anyone on that road. And it will depend. If you're from a country like like Canada and the Yukon province or whatever region, there's like no one up there, right? So you're used to seeing hardly anyone on the road. In fact, there aren't any roads there. But compared to here, there's a lot more options you can take in comparison to there, and there's a lot less traffic compared to, let's say, London. London is packed in comparison. So the cycle trails are pretty good, but they're mostly mountain biking ones. None of them are sealed. They're all gravel, pretty well graded, not very steep. I would say they're pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If I left anything out, do leave it in the comments below, like questions and all that. I can try and help you out with your bicycle tours here. To sum it all up though, New Zealand's pretty good for cycling, but you need to take those backcountry roads if you want to be safe. That's what I would say, to be, you know, on those main roads. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Took me personally 3 months to ride from top to bottom, from Cape Reinga all the way down to Slope Point. Slope Point is the most southerly point of New Zealand, and Cape Reinga is like the furthest north that you can get your bike, basically. There is a slightly more northern point. But yeah, you know, riding the length of New Zealand, you know, just took 3 months and it wasn't too long. I think you can do it on a holiday visa. But if you want to have that working visa for that flexibility to kind of stop for a month and work, you can also do that. And for me it was 3,000 K, but you can do whatever you want. You can choose whatever you want. I would definitely recommend it though, top to bottom. It was beautiful. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, questions and comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.